What up, niece? Oh, help! Send help! Wipe it down.
Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door. Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story. So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, and I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
I'm good. Everybody hit that like button. We about to get started.
Disagreement is acceptable. Disrespect is not. So my thing is, yes, it's okay and even healthy to have disagreement because we have different perspectives. We can bounce ideas off each other. We simply have to know how to navigate that and come to an official decision on things when we have those moments. But arguing says we are being disrespectful, whether our tone is negative, the words that we're using, there's nothing healthy about that. But a lot of people will say that because they want to validate the unhealthiness in their relationship. They don't want to face the issue of, I need to learn how to talk to my partner better. Why do I have to watch what I say? Because that's what an adult does. We can't just think it's okay, especially with our partners, to speak however we want, to throw all kinds of insults, to be disrespectful, and think this is okay. Because what people are not realizing is, all it takes is that one really bad argument to plant a seed of negativity that now grows into something worse in the relationship.
Steven speaks. I agree with 98% of what he said. But let's address the elephant in the room. It was the final piece that I disagree with. The planting of the seed. Well, when you're dealing with whips, works in progress, the seed can be planted. Broken people have fertile soil for neuroticism and negativity. Let's deal with the elephant in the room. Individuation causes you to heal your toxic soil, shadow soil. Oh, if somebody says something really, really bad. Again, I've always made the argument. If we're works in progress, why is it that it's so difficult to make room for the incomplete human that you're mirroring in relationship? Why is it so hard to accept human beings as they are? The closer they get to you, the more opportunity they may have to hurt you. You've heard it before. The people who love you the most tend to hurt you the most. But we have a difficult time making space for that hurt. The reason why we have a difficult time making space for that hurt is because our relationships are set up on, we got to feel good, it's got to be positive, everything's got to be good, and then we'll be all right. No, there are going to be moments where really ugly things could be said. The fact that we can't come back from those things isn't so much an indictment on the relationship as it is an indictment on how much you've healed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the VOR. The voice of reason is back in the building. And you already know what it is. It's episode 7. Tomorrow is the last episode in this spiritual laws series. The unseen spiritual laws that every relationship must respect. And as I've indicated in earlier shows, previous shows, I should say, there are so many spiritual laws. We can take another 20 spiritual laws and stretch this series out. But I wanted to give you a brief primer because so many people do not understand that relationships are more spiritual than they are social. See, we think if we handle the social aspect of relationships, that relationships will be all good. We both have money. We're both educated. We're both driven. You understand? We all agree on having kids. We all agree on marriage. We think the social construct will save the relationship. But what is the actual purpose of relationships? Getting you to get psychologically nude, emotionally nude, getting you to stand in front of the wounds you've spent a lifetime suppressing. That's the real purpose of relationship, and we've all become master manipulators at not only suppressing and repressing the wounds, but also creating wound-authored expectations for our partners to adhere to in order to feel safe. Tonight's topic. In the Unseen Spiritual Laws You Must Respect an Intimate Relationship series, episode 7, the law of healthy, sacred conflict. Oh, I know you guys don't want to hear this tonight. 1-800-920-1580. Get in here, get in here, get in here, get in here, get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Get in here. This is a national discussion. The law of healthy, sacred conflict. A deeper look at the spiritual purpose, meaning, and value of healthy conflict. Why do we run from conflict? Do we think relationships are supposed to be perpetually happy? Why do we dread those difficult moments? Many of us do, right? Why? Why do we dread the difficult moment? There is a spiritual law that few of us dare to invoke, and even fewer survive without transformation. Conflict is not a detour in the road to love. It is the damn road. Not only that, it is love in its most feral, unedited, and cosmic form. We are taught to fear conflict because we confuse peace with quiet with safety, silence with maturity, and agreement with intimacy. Both from the standpoint of higher consciousness, are y'all ready for tonight's topic? Are you seriously ready for tonight's topic? Andy, why do people struggle with conflict? Why are we always running from it? How come we've never developed the tools to manage conflict? Conflict is like revolving debt, credit debt, right? It's about managing it, right? This is why they changed it from conflict resolution to conflict management. Do you see? It's spiritual debt that must be effectively managed, right? I want to read that other piece again. We are taught to fear conflict because we confuse peace with quiet with safety, silence with maturity, and agreement with intimacy. But from the standpoint of higher consciousness, this is psychological malpractice. Conflict is not the result of incompatibility. It is the soul's immune system, right? Responding to energetic inauthenticity. It is truth, staging a coup against performance. Conflict is the body's way of remembering what the psyche has disowned. Do you want this work? Do you want this work? Conflict is the body's way of remembering what the psyche has disowned. Sacred conflict is not about resolution, it is about revelation. It does not arise because something is broken, but because something false is controlling the narrative of the relationship. It doesn't arise because something is broken. Oh, the rupture is actually a ritual, a coded transmission, a multi-dimensional recalibration of every persona, every performance, and every protective mechanism the ego has installed to avoid the death of its illusions. That's what conflict is. We think we're mad at our partner, but our amygdala seems to have been hijacked by the memory of an unacknowledged hurt that lives within our buried inner child. Our language, weaponized by projection. Our breath, shortened by shame. The archetype is resurrected by unintegrated grief. In truth, we are not arguing with our partners. We are arguing with our past selves, time traveling, right? Through our body's wound libraries. Conflict is a quantum feedback loop. The vibrational self attracts a mirrored polarity, your partner, to activate the dormant density you have refused to face. Your psyche calls it danger. Your ego calls it disrespect, but your soul calls it evolution. In avoiding conflict, we do not protect love. We mummify it. To be the bigger person often means to emotionally disappear, to fawn in the name of faux peace, while secretly accruing emotional debt payable in resentment and autoimmune dysregulation. This covert war of silence and stonewalling is the most dangerous kind because it wears the costume of virtue. But it's codependency rebranded as emotional maturity. It is spiritual bypassing, cosplaying as transcendence. You're not over it? How many times you're saying, I'm over it. I'm good, I'm over it. You ain't over it because you haven't processed it. Just like you didn't process anything that made you who you are. You just accepted it as who you are. Ooh. Every time you're silent, every time you silence your truth to keep peace, you unconsciously sign a contract with your trauma to reenact itself again and again and again and again. Conflict language is rarely about the truth, it's about survival. You never listen to me really means I have no felt sense of being. You're being dramatic means your intensity activates the chaos I suppress. The words used during conflict are not descriptors of reality. They are attempts to stabilize an internal storm. But when language collapses into accusation, it ceases to reveal. It begins to actively conceal. By reclaiming our words through Alfred Korzybski's general semantics, E prime, through felt experience, ownership, through the nervous system's truth instead of the ego's script, we can begin to alchemize rupture into witnessing. That isn't therapy speak. That's vibrational sovereignty. When I come forward, the voice of reason is going to kick off episode 7. What up, what up, what up, what up? What up, what up, what up? What do you guys think of the intro so far? What do y'all think of the intro so far? Do you guys have a firm understanding of what we're talking about? One 800-920-1580. Talk to me about how you deal with conflict. Healthy conflict. Do you have healthy conflict or do you have unhealthy conflict? I want y'all on the phones. Let's talk. Let's talk. Can I get us to talk today? Get on the phones. Let's talk. Talk to me in the chat, damn it. Chakra, Guru, what up, what up, what up? Hey, the number to dial to call in is 1-800-920-1580. Motherfuckers make you turn red. Who made me turn? Yogi Fish, damn. Man, how long has it been since we seen Yogi Fish, man? So grateful to see you, brother. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Diamond Blue, what up? Albert, call in. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. Yeah. Oh, man, water runner. That's crazy. Bye-bye. Salam alaikum. Please call in. Suge Mac 510, one of our favorites. What's up, good brother? Conflict is only as healthy as the least healed person in the. Ooh, I fuck with that. Can I get everybody to call in? Everybody hit that like button. It's only 26 likes, 42 people. Can we get the likes to match? Everybody hit the like. The like is free. The like is free. Please hit the like button. Teach you how to start.
When conflict checks in, I check the hell up out of there. And not because I don't care, family. It's because it's normal and second nature for me. If you've ever been on either side of this as a dismissive avoidant attacher or someone involved with one,
Wait, hold on, man. We got to start this from the top. Is this the lady in the mask? Let me tell you something about me. I don't like peaceful demons. I don't like soft and gentle demons. To me, this is all unhealed, broken, and conscious. See, it becomes demonic when you're conscious of the brokenness and you don't want to do nothing about it. You just have a whole little concept of how you gonna move and maneuver. I met this guy, this brother. Well, he isn't a brother. He's one of my best friends. He passed away a couple of years ago. His name is Dr. Mark Goulston. Mark Goulston said something amazing to me. He was like, Zoe, you're a star, man. How can I help you? How can I help you get to where you wanna go? Jewish brother. International best-selling author, psychiatrist, FBI negotiator, trainer. Like, this dude went on the psychology side of the game. He was so cold. You know what he said? He said, the one thing I need from you, Zoe, in order to help you get to where you go, I'm going to do my best, no guarantees. He said, don't be a maneuverer. He said, I don't like maneuverers. People who are manipulative and try to maneuver their way into situations. He said, those people hurt people. He said, and then I read something from Krishnamurti. He said, most people think they're smart. They think they're intelligent. He said, but don't get intelligence mixed up with cleverness. He said, most people are just clever. If you're not doing any real internal work, you're clever. And when you become clever, you become mercenary. You become a user. You start hurting people. And when I hear this woman, I don't know if there's such thing as an ick, But when I hear this woman talk, I know she's hurt people very badly. When you're unconscious, you get a pass. But when you're conscious and you've become clever and you've created these mechanisms to maneuver and manipulate consciously, you're a demon to me. Let her finish.
If you've ever been on either side of this as a dismissive avoidant attacher or someone involved with one, this video is for you. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. I'm Eleanor and this is Dismissible Me, where I speak only about dismissive avoidant attachment from the perspective of someone with a dismissive avoidant attachment style. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let me know where you are watching from. And be sure to check out the playlist and find me on Instagram. All of my links are down below in the description box. And getting right into today's topic, family, how I handle conflict as someone with a dismissive avoidant attachment style. To be clear, this is not how I would handle a conflict where we can talk and everything is cool, calm, and collected. I'm speaking specifically, about being in a fight, an argument. And once things get emotionally exciting, this is when I start to, number one, emotionally shut down. And so when I'm emotionally shutting down, that's because I'm feeling, number one, I'm feeling very trapped in this situation. And I'm feeling very suffocated. And so everything is out right now. The planes, the birds, everything. All I want to do is enjoy this beautiful day. Hold on a moment while this plane passes. Okay, so before I was rudely interrupted by Delta Airlines, emotionally shutting down when things get emotionally exciting. So once the tone starts to change from cool and calm, once things start to get a little elevated, voices are getting a little louder, it's getting more emotional, I'm going to start to shut down. And that's the coldness. I don't want to say it's indifference because I do care, but it is cold. I start to get dry. I'm giving you the short answers because along with emotionally shutting down, which comes from feeling trapped and suffocated, and that's where I got stopped. A lot of this comes from you demanding answers right then and there. If I'm telling you that I need space, that I need time, or even worse, if you're trying to...
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the Voice of Reason with Phil Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Eva Payton with BIN News Now. Sean Diddy Combs will remain behind bars until sentencing after being found guilty of transporting people for prostitution in his Buick City sex crimes trial. The hip-hop mogul was found not guilty on the most serious charges against him, including racketeering and sex trafficking. Nolan Rosa from the Breakfast Club podcast was inside the courthouse when the verdict was read and says Diddy's defense team became emotional, with some even tearing up. One of the attorneys 2 years ago who was sitting next to him grabbed his hand and shook his hand yes, we did it. She began to cry. Prosecutors told the judge they're seeking a prison sentence of 4 to 5 years, arguing that the rap mogul should not be released on bond as he awaits sentencing. Diddy mouthed, quote, "thank you," end quote, to the jurors after the verdict, but his legal team is now preparing for what could be a lengthy prison term. Get the news now from the man Kingfish from Jackson Jr. Inviting you to join me weekdays at 12 noon, right after Travis Smiley, here on KBLA Talk 1580. As a law school graduate and theologian with the
1-800-920-1580. Who's calling in tonight?
my show is the fresh new home of an authentic, uncompromised quest for transformation and salvation.
Who's calling in tonight? Anybody calling in? Anybody calling in? Anybody calling in? Anybody calling in? One 1-800-920-1580. Moderate. Where is Nzinga? Throw in the damn towel. Hey, that's one of my favorite movie scenes. Throw in the damn towel. Or another Rocky movie. Get out of there, kid. He's gonna kill you. Get out of there. Get out of there, kid. He's gonna kill you. What up, fam? Just making it in. Hey, I'm staying on point. I have a feeling that if you would have been here at the beginning, I think you probably would have thought this one is the best episode of the series. It was hidden. I like it so far. My sleep deprivation is keeping me from disassociating. Hey, y'all hear Andy? Andy be in there on their head. Andy be on their head.
In your chat,
yeah,
talking about, oh, the number is there. They asking me to give them what the topic is. No, you listen to the topic, and then you call in.
Andy is saying, yo, tap in with the topic.
No free balling over here. Motherfuckers like to call, oh, I got relationship issues, and don't be on topic.
And don't be on topic. Huh. Andy is like, stop playing. Listen to the topic, get an idea of what the topic is, and then Andy will put you on the air. Okay? That's what Andy is talking about. What up, sir? Red Pill Crip, OG Zoe, how are you, brother? I'm good. You got to pay the toll by paying attention. That's all he's saying. Thank you, brother.
You navigate stress and anxiety and chaos differently from this person. So, for instance, you have an anxious and an avoidant. You have an avoidant in conflict that's overwhelmed. This is too much. I don't like the way this feels. Now I have these overwhelming emotions, and my strategy is a preemptive strategy. So I'm going to run. And then you have the anxious person. Now you have shaken up their nervous system. And they're like, wait, my strategy is hyperactivation. Now I'm like, what did I do? Wait, I got to fix this. I need stability. That happens. So you have one who runs, you have one who tries to fix it, and they have already communicated poorly there because they have two different languages. So it's important that you understand the attachment. Go all the way back to your childhood to get an understanding. I know that this triggers your nervous system. So if I do this in conflict, this is not going to work for me.
I love it. 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 Who was that, Andy? That was a good clip. I love it. And please keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, I'm listening to the clips as you're listening to the clips. And the way she broke down the, insecure attachment styles. We talk about this often based on John Bowlby's attachment theory. And of course, later, Mary Ainsworth. You get 4 attachment styles, and only one is secure, and the other 3 are insecure. One is anxious, preoccupied, AP. The other one's dismissive, avoidant, DA. And then the final one is considered disorganized, or FA, fearful avoidant, because it's a combination of the anxious and the avoidant. And all of this is cultivated within early childhood, right? Now, the runner, the discarder, and then there's the chaser, right? These are real, attachment styles that we carry from childhood to our adult relationships. I keep telling you, relationships are designed spiritually to reveal all of that through conflict, how conflict is managed. But in general, most people view conflict, especially you hear people say sustained conflict. I mean, there's going to be conflict in intimate relationships. Most people view that as a failed relationship or a problematic relationship. But consider the dismissive avoidant. The dismissive avoidant views tough conversations, difficult conversations, conversations where they feel like, I'm uncomfortable telling my truth. And it isn't about having a safe environment. It's just that they're uncomfortable being confronted. So real conversations that say two securely attached people having, that's not a problem. This is an uncomfortable moment. You hit me with something that I need to be real and transparent about. If they're securely attached, they're not going to run from the moment. They know this is the moment to show up. Well, a dismissive avoidant isn't really like that. They'll look for space, separation, because they see difficult difficult conversations as an attack, right? The fearful avoidant is a combination of both, depending on where the pendulum is in the moment of the conflict. In some cases, the pendulum may be in an anxious side of their personality, right? Their style, their attachment style. So when it's swung anxious, what tends to happen is they want answers as well. But they can also, in a heartbeat, swing avoidant. So it might look a little confusing because in one moment they want answers, but in the next moment, now they're avoiding the answers. So that is the fearful avoidant, i.e., the disorganized, right? Anxious is going to try to fix it. And the reason why they're trying to fix it is because they believe that something is inherently wrong with themselves. Gosh, how did this happen again? How can I fix it? Let me fix it. And the pursuit of trying to fix it, right? They think that will satiate their anxiety. But what happens is, typically in the anxious avoidant trap, the avoidant runs, the anxious chase, and the chase heightens the anxiety, right? The being chased heightens the anxiety for the avoidant. Do you see? The discomfort. But we have to start looking at conflict differently. What if we looked at conflict as an archetypal activation? What if we start looking at relationship ruptures as relationship rituals? You know, witchcraft is on the rise, ladies and gentlemen. A person would rather light a candle to try to bind somebody than light a candle, right? Well, they'll try to light a candle to bind somebody, then actually recontextualize their mindset on rupture. What if you looked at emotional rupture or relational disruption as a ritual to up-level your spirit to the next level, right? Self-accountability, where you go, hey, wait a minute. This is my part of the rupture. This is the part of the rupture I'm responsible for. Let me take responsibility for the co-creation of this mess that I'm a co-producer of, right? Let's take this time to recontextualize rupture as ritual. And let's start doing a ritual to undo what broke us. Hold on, you said ritual, because you know some people can't get past certain terminology. They will automatically, oh, that's witchcraft. I'm using it metaphorically. When was the last time you did a healing ritual for your relationship? Whether it be prayer, whether it be mindfulness, whether it be meditation, whether it be reading books together, whether it be journaling together, whether it be bidirectional reciprocity in disclosing certain truths about oneself. That's a ritual. Every rupture is an invitation to de-roll. You were trained to become the martyr, i.e. the victim. You inherited the schema of the savior. Oh, Lord. You repeated the punisher because it worked. But conflict exposes the character you perform inside the theater of intimacy. When you enter sacred conflict, you don't just negotiate boundaries, you undergo mythic deconstruction. Jung called this individuation, Carl Jung. We call it being triggered. But in truth, it is being, listen to what's about to be said. But in truth, it is being time traveled into the root wound to reclaim the fragment. Conflict is not personal. It is ancestral performance art. Your partner is your scene partner in a karmic play that refuses to let you forget your lines until you rewrite the script. From a quantum mechanics perspective, right, or a quantum perspective, you are not two people clashing. You are entangled waveforms collapsing into dysfunctional outcomes. Your nervous systems are instruments of karma calibrated by your past and scored by your unmet needs. The pain is not proof that love is wrong. The pain is proof that your nervous system has found a truth too big for your current sense of self. Oh my God, 1-800-920-1580. Get ready, get ready, get ready, get ready. Get to your phone lines. Get to your phone lines, 1-800-920-1580. Conflict in its sacred form, is spiritual dilation. It opens what trauma constricted. It reveals what silence suppressed. Do you know how many people come from a family that thinks silence is the best way to communicate? That thinks avoidance, shoving it under the rug, right, is the best way to deal with something? Huh? Conflict reveals what silence suppressed. It brings fire to the places you were once numb. Conflict is actually Kundalini. It coils, it strikes, and it resurrects. Instead of asking, how do we avoid this? Begin asking, what part of me is trying to be witnessed through this friction? What archetype is being cast into this drama? Do I want to play it again? Can I stay present in the fire long enough for it to burn my mask and not the connection? 1-800-920-1580. What if rupture is not rejection, but repetition, finally seen, finally witnessed? Conflict is not relational failure. There is a spiritual aspect of conflict. And so many people do not want to embrace it. So many people do not want to lean into it. We've been conditioned to run from that which is difficult. Relationships are not easy. Relationships can be difficult. They have moments of difficulty. Relationships spiritually should be able to build internal resilience. But you got to go in looking for where you are weak and not looking for where your partner is weak. It's claim over blame. Does it make sense? 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. Hey, listen, when I come forward, the voice of reason is going to the phone lines. Are you ready to start this national discussion? I sure am. Voice of reason. Are you tired of stealing your shine? California Cleaners is where you go to rescue your wardrobe. They don't just clean, they elevate. Hand washing, crisp laundry, and precise alterations, all while keeping your wallet happy. Listen, all you gotta do is connect with them in the beautiful city of Inglewood. Whether it's grass-stained jeans, silk that's seen better days, or a hemline emergency before date night, you're on deck with California Cleaners, located at 1326 North La Brea Avenue, Inglewood, California. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you, when we fight, we win. The Youth Justice Coalition is challenging America's addiction to incarceration and discrimination. YJC works to dismantle policies leading to mass incarceration, law enforcement violence, and the school-to-prison pipeline. Their approach, transformative justice, community intervention. Hey, this first hour got the hell up out of here. Hey, I want to thank everybody for hitting the like button. If you want to support the channel, please hit the $sign down at the bottom, or you can send a Cash App. If you find the information good, if you find it useful, please, 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 please show your support.
For justice. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. Hey man, hey, what's up? What's the station you listening to? Oh man, you don't know? That's Talk Radio. KBLA 1580 AM. Check it out.
That's the old man dance.
KBLA. Aggressive.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're celebrating our 4th anniversary, and this track right here is the gift one of our devoted listeners presented to us.
What is happening?
Get some information, get a true education to know. Ooh, yeah.
Are we attacking good people in the chat? What's happening?
Write us a song. Stop it. Our listeners love us, and there ain't nothing we can do about it. Wouldn't want to. Thanks
What
to
is-
Bill and everybody else for turning on KBLA Talk 1580. We love you. Right
What in the
now.
toucan Sam is going on? All right. Civil war in the chat. Let's all be respectful, please. Wait, we like Marie Laveau. Bring her back.
Conflict is inevitable in any relationship. Trying to avoid it, deny it, ignore it, run from it isn't healthy for you or anybody else. If you're single, don't go looking for someone that agrees with you on everything. That's a recipe for disaster, because if you find someone like that and the two of you never argue about anything, here's what I know to be true. Someone is lying. Someone in the relationship is getting taken advantage of because somebody's not expressing themselves and not being who they really are. Rather, look for someone who knows how to have healthy disagreements, who knows how to argue in a constructive way, not by yelling and screaming and name-calling, but by gently, with compassion, saying what happened and then sharing how it made you feel.
Who was that, Andy? We have a lot of interesting clips from a lot of different people. Andy's on the phone right now. He can't tell me. But I'm listening, right, to this stuff right when you're listening. So I'm hearing different perspectives, and I love it. But you know what? This is a national show. And there are people, oh Lord, there are people on the line that are ready to get busy. We got Fayetteville, North Carolina on the line. Fayetteville, let's talk to them. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
I'm here, so
Hello, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
okay. So on the relationship debacle, you said a lot of things that hit home with me, it resonated.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a 46-year-old woman.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be 47 in February. I'm divorced. I filed for divorce. And communication is the big outliner to me.
Mm-hmm.
And when you said, like, there are things we don't discuss with each other, that's very true. My ex-husband hid things from me, didn't pay bills. I didn't know we were going under foreclosure from our town home, and until I was trying to get a new car. I don't know, though. So 47-year-old me, I've been divorced since 2010. 46-year-old me, about to be 47, I'm just like, not F-love stuff, but I'm more focused on me being a single person, living in the moment. Tomorrow is not promised. And I'm hurt, and I'm trying to heal from the hurt. I'm in therapy.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I gave so much into this brother. I'm multiracial. I'm African American and Japanese.
Wait, stay right there. Don't go anywhere. All right? I'm listening to you. I love the transparency and I appreciate you for sharing. Don't go anywhere. When we come forward, we shall continue this discussion out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. So I hated to have to do that, but so much, huh?
Was she on time?
No.
Exactly. But I give her the benefit of the doubt. She's just excited. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Chopping it up with you.
Okay.
First time call.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was going on in the chat? Why was there civil war in the chat? And I mean, these are people that been here for years. Like, what's happening? Yes, it is. First off, I'm in sunny Southern California where the temperature is 72 degrees. It's 8 p.m. By the time, I'm on the west side by the beach. By the time I go outside, it's going to be breezy. Listen, I'm good. And I spend most of my time, like if I was in Pasadena, couldn't wear a hoodie. Couldn't wear a hoodie if I was in Pasadena. Pasadena's right next to the mountains. It's in the valley. It's hot. But I live on the west side by the beach. Come on, man.
What are your bedroom turn-offs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a bad person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy. How about this? The child wasn't his, and you still had to pay child support. It's a very heated topic. How is that right? Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I was like, is this something wrong with that?
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed. Commit you with a bad attitude. How does he
No, no sweat stains.
He likes it when it pinches my nip.
Why can't you open up, brother? I'm a karate man. Karate man. On the inside. They don't show their weaknesses. Yeah.
How do you make women so well?
So William, reason and accountability. The voice of reason. So that together, we're going to find out what is the cause of conflict, the core, the root of it. And of course, to admit that is called conflict is inevitable, it's natural. As human beings for the last millennia have lived in conflict, so why shouldn't we also? That kind of argument is rather, if I may say, rather silly and inept. But if one could go into examine, perceive, have an insight into the causation of conflict, and then perhaps that will end. To discover the cause, that it's not a process of analysis. Analysis implies, doesn't it, the analyzer and the analyzed, right? The one who says, I must find the cause of this conflict, and then he begins to investigate as though it was something outside of him, then he analyzes that. Is not the analyzer the analyzed? Please go into this with a little bit, if you will. We're asking, is not the analyzer, or put it differently, is the analyzer different from that which he analyzes? Who is the analyzer? Apart from the professional psychologists, psychiatrists, and so on, this, what we are doing now, is to understand the causation of conflict. Is that conflict the cause? Is that to be analyzed? Then if you are analyzing the cause, then who is the analyzer? Right? Is the analyzer different from that which he analyzes? You understand the question? Am I talking to myself? Are you really interested in all this? Don't, please, don't encourage the speaker. You talk with it.
Do you find something wrong with your partner? Right? Yet you don't see how whatever you perceive to be wrong with them associated or mirroring the very thing that might be wrong with you. Of course, Krishnamurti was a world-renowned philosopher, and you might not be familiar, or maybe you are familiar in 2025 with the term relationship is a mirror. Maybe you're more familiar with the term when you're pointing at somebody, blaming them, you got three fingers pointing back at you. So when he's pontificating on, is the analyzer substantively different from that which he analyzes? Many times conflict is heightened because the person blaming can't see any aspect of how they are a co-creator in the experience that they are currently having. Again, conflict is not relational failure. Why is it we can't see the benefits of conflict in relationship? Yes, there are some. They say, well, what, Zoe? A change of perspective. Yeah, that's right. When they lie to me, that changes how I feel about them. No, that's not what I'm saying. Does it reveal a hypersensitivity to when someone lies? And does that transport you back to the past when you were lied to by your father? Every time he said he was going to show up and he didn't show up? Is that related? And is the small lie that maybe your partner committed, right? Did that trigger that memory? Do you understand what I'm saying? Maybe in the conflict, there is a revelation about you, a revelation about a wound, an origin story for a wound you have been suppressing, yet allowing that wound to right relationship expectations to gain control over others. Do you see? Conflict is not relational failure. It is emotional composting. The dying of dysfunctional dynamics that no longer serve both parties' movement toward becoming. To fear conflict is to fear your own expansion. Healthy conflict is not learned through technique, it is earned through ego death and sacred exposure. The real question is not, would you like me to? Right? Well, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to, I forgot. We have an important caller on the line. I'll get back to that later. I'll put a pin in that thought. Our caller is out of Fayetteville, if I'm not mistaken, North Carolina. She was making a good point, and I want to make sure that she is allowed to continue her thought. Go ahead. Please continue to share. 46 years old, African American and Japanese, correct?
Yes, sir, you are correct, though.
All right.
And so when you touched on that point of benefit of conflict, that made me sit in who I am as a person, and I was humbled. So in I guess my early stages of marriage and all this, because I was with my husband for 10 years, my first boyfriend, everything. However, so in that conflict, me being a woman and being very responsible and taking care of many of the bills and everything, you talked about a change of perspective, right? So me sitting in that and dealing with that, I guess I had an internal conflict with myself because I felt like all the burden was on me.
Why did you feel that way?
Because I felt like I was taking the bulk of the responsibilities financially.
Right. And that could be a heavy burden, totally understand. But do you feel like that contributed to the conflict? Was it building up to the point where you might have been a little bit more judgmental, a little bit more condescending maybe? And if you weren't,
yes,
that's okay too. But if you were, let's address it.
To answer your question, I was. And two, I was sex deprived. So for me, if I could be totally transparent in this.
Sure. No judgment here. Go ahead.
I, at a young age, was introduced to sex as a female. I didn't have penetration or anything like that, but I was molested at a young age. So I was sexually stimulated as a young person.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to my first boyfriend in this relationship, in my marriage, I equated like a bond or a connection to sexual encounters with this person, my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And so even when we would argue, I'd be like, okay, we're under the same roof, we married, and when we sleep in the same bed and we're under the same roof, that's my penis, I'm gonna get my rocks off, that's sex, I'm gonna have sex, and we're gonna do that. However, when we had disagreements, he would withhold sex from me, and he would say that, I'm mad at you. I don't want to have sex with you. And so in my mind, I'm like, wait a minute. We're still going to sleep together. You rubbing up against me at night. I'm rubbing on you. So I'm thinking it's normal,
Mm-hmm.
Well, you may not know, but I'm just saying, so I felt like it was normal that we're going to have sex and everything's going to be okay, but he told me that, wait a minute, I'm still upset from the disagreement we had at noon before lunch, and I don't want to have sex with you. So I couldn't process that.
And no, that's a real conflict. Like, the sex piece is a real conflict. So my question now becomes, did you guys ever seek to go to therapy? Did you guys?
No.
Why not?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but before we got married, his father was a pastor, so we did do counseling. But after that, no, we did not. But now, me, that we're divorced, I am in therapy. I am in therapy, and I'm trying to heal from all my stuff from my childhood. And he was abusive during the marriage, our second year of marriage.
Wow.
He became physically abusive. But, I felt like we were both young. I don't hold a grudge over anything that happened. Moving forward, I felt like, we were both immature and we didn't really know how to process things. But yes, I am in therapy. I'm not sure if he is, but I am.
And let me ask you this question. In therapy, did they ever get around to telling you what your attachment style might be?
We have not made it there yet, Zoe, because I'm not that comfortable discussing, like, the whole, how I became molested and all that whole background. I did say that I was molested, but I've not really discussed the history of it.
Right. So you're still processing. You still have work to do. And I totally understand it. But let me just say something to you right now. We applaud you for just having the bravery and the strength to even open up and share that with us. Because, you've been through something, like something major. And, coming out of that, there could be some hypervigilance towards, being abused again or opening up and trusting somebody else. And I totally get it. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. I ain't even going to ask you what you did because you did a thing. You shared. I'm not even going to. I'm not even going to ask you what you did. I'll say it for you. She brought North Carolina in the building. We appreciate the call. Listen, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me. 1-800-920-1580. Non-judgmental space. Please understand, you can call in and share whatever you want to share. Ain't nothing but love. Even if you're off topic, it's okay. I loved what she had to say. Call in 1-800-920-1580. Hey, hey. What up? Everybody good? I hope everybody's good, man. I hated to do that at third eye. But damn. Ooh. Listen, call in. I'm staying on point. Let's talk. I love that.
taken a short hiatus from social media this past week because I literally needed a break. Good morning, Kev. Good morning, guys. I needed a break, guys. I just was tapped out. I was exhausted. And getting ready to start shooting in Houston in about a week and a half. So I'm off to Houston in about a week. Good morning, Tiffany. Good morning, guys. I know it. I didn't even give you guys notices. I just disappeared, right? And sometimes life is like that, right? Like, there was just been so much going on. I posted inside an inner circle with my coaches, and I said that, it's like blessings and burdens go hand in hand, and I've talked about that before, that, you can be in the best times of your life and also the worst times of your life. And I've just seen that in different seasons of my life, how things can be going so amazing, but things can also be going to hell in a handbasket at the same time. And thank you, sweetheart. Adslove says, you look so beautiful, Auntie Rebecca. I miss seeing you. Thank you, sweetie. Look, I just got up. I ain't even done my hair, y'all. I'm looking crazy. I'm down in Texas actually right now this week also. My niece/daughter was going to a makeup training. She got certified as a makeup artist down here in Texas this week. And so I'm down.
She talking to us like we all at Starbucks sharing a frappe latte, mocha chai tea. I don't even know what she talking about. What in the world? I'm listening to y'all like, we don't want to know about your niece getting her nails done. You supposed to be on topic, lady. I think it's Rebecca Lynn Pope. But she didn't have a single gift to give us at all. We're going to revisit that, though. We're going to go back and we're going to listen for the point of why she got on the VOR. I'm sure she has some good stuff. But somebody in the chat, I think it was I'm Staying on Point, was talking about somewhat. Oh, she's online? Oh, bring I'm Staying on Point up in here. I'm Staying on Point. Long Beach, California is in the building. You were asking such a great question. I was like, yo, we got to talk about it. Please let everyone know what your question was.
So my question was, is being the bigger person a form of control depending on the intent?
Oh, my goodness. Oh, Lord. The illusion of peace. How being the bigger person is covert narcissism in disguise. Chronic emotional caretaking is a trauma response rooted in fawning. Often misread as maturity, it's actually fear of emotional abandonment disguised as virtue. To avoid conflict in the name of peace is to lie in service of aesthetics. As Nietzsche warns, morality without truth is vanity in sacred drag. False peace is a karmic deflection. In higher consciousness thinking, truth is a higher frequency than harmony. The soul does not evolve through comfort. Studies on relational suppression, Gross, 2002, revealed that long-term avoidance of emotional tension correlates with increased cortisol, chronic inflammation, and deteriorating relational satisfaction. Let's see how far being the bigger person gonna get you. I hope I answered the question.
Yes, you did.
I'm Staying on Point. You know I love you, child. Go ahead, finish your thought.
Well, it's just, it reminds me of whether or not it's a female
trying to be the bigger person or the male being the bigger person, it's almost like, let me just do this to shut you up.
Ooh. Performative piety, performative morality. Exactly. It's all spiritual bypassing to try to look like, oh, I am so elevated. You're a liar.
Yes. And an avoider.
And an avoider. Oh, I love you, sister. Guess what you just did?
What's our LBC in the building?
Come on, man. Lamert Park and LBC. Now you know you in trouble. Come on. I appreciate everybody for calling in. Hey, when I come forward, you already know the VOR gonna keep this fire lit. Hey, that was so on point. I'm staying on point.
This is where you get the unfiltered truth.
Do you see how your question? I said, what? I'm staying on point. Had a question that was lined right up with what I was going to talk about. That was fire. That was dope. That was ridiculous. Hey, Lloyd Hinton is our only cash apper. And we all should say thank you to the brother. We've only got Yogi Fish was the only super chatter. So in 90 minutes, 87 minutes, we've only gotten 2 supports. One on the Cash App and one here on YouTube. If you want to support the show and the content, please hit that $sign down at the bottom there. Please hit that $sign or shoot it directly to my Cash App. We don't ask for a lot, but I'm asking everybody say thanks to Lloyd Hinton. He supports virtually every day. Him, John Gilbreth, and others. But yes, if you want to support, please support. If you can support, please support. I know rent day was yesterday.
Mr. Tavis Smiley, preach it. Thank you, man. Politics
and do you guys hear my high conflict my high conflict playlist? Oh, that's okay. Anybody else? Anybody else wanna? Hey, thank you, Twos and Fuse. Thank you, Chakra Guru.
Hey, Zo, I gotta keep it G. The more and more I listen, bro, it really just seems like
You starting to pick it up.
Not that I'm trying to pick it up, but it just
No, I'm saying you starting to understand it.
It just feels like relationships sound whack. And I get what you're saying, like okay.
They're not whack.
They're not whack, but like, okay, go through the hurt. The hurt is good for you. You know what I'm saying? You should be honest as fuck. Okay, so I'm about to be like, yeah, I want to go kick it with the homies and whatever. I don't give a fuck what you say. And I should stand on that.
Well, here's the thing. It's how you say it.
Okay, right.
Right? It's how you say it. But what happens is when we're in relationships, a lot of times we're performing. And when you get older, like you get my age, Man, hell nah.
Understood.
This is who I am.
Understood.
I'm gonna be at the cigar lounge. Well, you need to get out of there. What? When you met me, I was in here. The fuck? You gotta shift your life to match the cigar lounge.
Okay, so
I didn't ask you. Do you understand? So no, and what it is when you.
your life to go to like.
But here's the thing, though: when you're dealing with adult people, it can come like this. I'm asking you because I care about your health to spend 1 or 2 less days at the cigar lounge. See how that's presented?
Communication. Then.
Do you see how?
Style.
Do you see how that's flipped? As opposed
I'm with you on that.
You being here too much.
I agree with you. That sounds like a judgment and everything else.
Do you see what I'm saying? So again, when you get older, you start to settle into the truth of who you are. But if you attract people who still trigger points that need to be worked on, there still has to be some flexibility to where you go, I can see what you're saying. But that has to be presented in such a respectful way. Listen to what I mean by that.
That's
respect for who you are.
Right.
Now, I know this is how you get down. I know this is what you do. But hey, I want to be an advocate for your well-being.
See, now I think that needs communication styles.
You see how that? Yeah.
I think that's key right
It's
there.
big. Exactly.
Dear Dr. Joe, you will never believe what happened to me.
Tell me. I never get tired of hearing these stories.
I will tell you, but firstly, it's great to see you again, and warmly welcome back to the podcast.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
So, what I wanted to start with today is the topic of change. I know that's a topic you know a lot about. So my first question to you is, why do we have the need to procrastinate when we know that the change is what is doing the work for us?
Well, I think it's 2 reasons. First reason is change is inconvenient. It's very inconvenient to break. Number 2, so many hardwired beliefs that we have about ourselves, habits that we live by every day, and to overcome some emotions that keep us in the past. So the programs that we have by thinking the same way, acting the same way, feeling the same way, really become part of our biology, and all of that is the familiar, all of that is the known. So it's quite convenient to say, I'm going to change tomorrow, or I'm going to change in the new year, or I'm just going to finish this and then I'll change. And I think when we say that, we'll do it tomorrow, we're in a program. And so I believe that now is the new later. Like, if not now, when? And that's what this work is about. That's why we run the week-long retreats, because it's really an opportunity for people to retreat from their lives and to remove the constant stimulation in their external environment that reminds them of who they think they are as a personality, how they think, how they act, and how they feel in their life on a regular basis. Because on a more probable than not basis, it's the environment that's controlling how they're feeling, how they're thinking, how they're acting. So the retreating is a process where people can get acquainted and familiar with knowledge and information again, and remind them that they actually do create their life, and that they have to start thinking differently, that they have to start acting differently, they have to start feeling differently, and give them the tools during that week to challenge them when they come up against, I can't, I don't believe I can heal, it's too hard, I'm not a good meditator, I'm a failure, whatever that thought is that's running behind the scenes of their awareness. Now,
Individuation, self-realization, self-actualization, these are all tools to alchemize dukkha. Dukkha, from the Buddhist concept, right, means suffering, right? Disappointment, right? Unsatisfactoriness, discomfort. In Buddhism, dukkha is a core concept, often translated as suffering, unsatisfactoriness, or discomfort. It represents the inherent imperfection and impermanence of all conditioned existence, right? And is one of the three marks of existence. Dukkha isn't just about pain and misery, but also includes the unsatisfactoriness of pleasurable experiences, as they are temporary and ultimately lead to dissatisfaction when they end. Dukkha, dukkha. This refers to the obvious forms of suffering like physical pain, illness, and emotional distress, mental and emotional distress, right? What does that have to do with conflict? Well, when we run from conflict, we actually increase dukkha. Do you see the impermanence of your escape? You may have an escape for a moment. I keep coming back to this point. You can alchemize any negative situation in your life. You have the power to do it. Sure, you can go to a therapist. Let's start it there. Let's get the individuation thing happening. You can find out your attachment style. You can find out how your attachment style, this conditioning, has caused you to manipulate if it's insecure, right? All insecure attachments are masters of manipulation because they didn't get what they were supposed to get when they were children. So their adult relationships are about manipulating their partners into giving them what they didn't get when they were kids. Okay? So dukkha will lead to more conflict. Conflict has a purpose. It is a puzzle that must be solved internally. Do you see? Healthy conflict. How do we get to that point? When we stop judging conflict as coming empty-handed. All conflict comes with gifts. Gifts of revelation. Self-revelation. You see? My niece is on the line. Let's get her in here. Attila from Houston, Texas. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Well, I
Well,
hope people feel why I am withholding my vote, because these topics have been fire, man.
man, the spiritual meaning of relationship is crazy, right?
It is. Oh my gosh, it's incredible. And I wanted to say too, I really loved how you postured it, being the bigger person. So I wanted to address one of the comments Jack made in the chat. And he says, what about having to be the bigger person to keep from self-destructing? He said, that's not fake to me.
Right.
And it kind of got me thinking, like, you think about, like, when people are in the ring and fighting, like, you have weight classes, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are no bigger person. There's no bigger person in the ring, right? You might have a faster person, but nobody's that much bigger or greater than the other. They're in the same weight class, right? So I feel like in our relationships, we're on equal footing in that same way as well. We like to posture ourselves as the bigger person because there's a certain level of moral superiority, high ground, whatever you want to call it. But I feel like at the end of the day, like to me, I don't believe that really exists. And if you think about it, when people suggest you should be the bigger person, right, they're normally outside of your conflict.
Oh, interesting.
So think about it, it's relative to them viewing you. Like something being bigger than you is relative to how the size that you are. So if something's bigger than you, that's because that's how you see it. That's your perception. But maybe it's not. Maybe you guys are actually on the same level, same weight.
I love that.
To me, but I also feel like bigger is not always better either. Sometimes bigger is just that. It's just bigger.
Wait.
It's not better.
Don't go nowhere. Stay right there because you cooking. We going to keep you cooking for a little bit longer when we come forward. More from Houston, Texas, and my niece. We all thank Melanie. Thank you, Melanie. Melanie is our second Cash App. And we're not asking, nobody has to give us $100, $200, you know, and some have done that, you know, and I'm deeply appreciative for those who have done that. But we ask the twos and fews. You got a 5 spot on, it's 50 people in here. Imagine if 50 people drop $3, $5, $2 on my Cash App. Just go there, $Zoe if you appreciate and approve of the information that's being shared. If you think it has value. To all contributors, that's right. And to all contributors, heartfelt thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Melanie, thank you. Like I said, we waste $2, $3 on bags of chips, on Cliff bars, on, you know, cups of coffee. I mean, I know this content is as valuable or more valuable than a cup of coffee, in my opinion. Well, maybe not. But if you can, just go to my Cash App, $Zoe. I would ask that the moderators please put up the Cash App.
What is constructive conflict? If you've ever been in a situation where disagreements seem to be the norm, you might have wondered if there's a way to make those conflicts work for you rather than against you. Let's explore what constructive conflict is and how it can be a powerful tool for growth and collaboration. Constructive conflict is not about avoiding disagreements. It's about embracing them in a way that leads to positive outcomes. It's a type of conflict where participants engage in respectful and open communication to understand each other's perspectives and work towards the best possible solution. Imagine a team meeting where members have different opinions on how to prioritize tasks for an upcoming project. Instead of letting the conversation turn into frustration, the leader encourages everyone to speak up and listen actively. By doing this, the team combines their ideas to create a balanced plan that strengthens their relationship and resolves the conflict. Key to
I love the fire. We've been on fire just for years now. I was going to say for weeks, but it's been years. Let me get my niece back in here to get her final thought, because she was cooking. She was talking about this being the bigger person piece, and it's an ongoing discussion here in the chat, and I'm gonna give my thoughts on it as well. Go ahead, niece.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like a myth. I just don't think it's real. And I think, two things that come out for me are like the value of things, and also, like you said, the purpose, right? So when we're talking about assessing value, if I don't see the value in myself, I can't accurately assess the value of anything else. That's
Right.
number one.
Right.
Number two, when you're talking about the purpose in terms of conflict, if I'm addicted to, or I shouldn't say addicted to, but maybe adjusted or conditioned to, like, be okay with being in a fraudulent state of peace, then, I mean, again, the whole thing to me kind of falls apart. I'm not going to really understand conflict because I don't even know what peace is. Right? Like, I have no idea. It's like you said, the difference between peace versus quiet.
Right.
Right, like if I'm used to quiet, then conflict is going to feel like an attack. I won't understand that you can actually have conflicts and overcome things in a healthy way. And I say this as someone who comes from a family who has explosive arguments and conflict, but we also sweep things under the rug, so we do both.
Wow. Wow. That's
But
great.
that's all I gotta say.
Niecy, hey, guess what you just did, baby girl?
How about Houston in the building?
Houston, Texas is in the building. They're on the board. Let me just address my guy, Jack Brayson, in the chat. His initial post was, what if, being the bigger person, is out of you not losing control, or you not, doing something, losing your cool. And I paraphrase. Let me just say, that's a crutch, right? If you got to be the bigger person in order to self-regulate, you're in trouble. Right? To regulate your emotions. Let me be the bigger person so I don't lose my... No. That's a device. That's a tactic. And at some point, I guess if you're still trying to grow, if you're still trying to evolve, you want to take those psychological training wheels off. You want to be able to transcend that. Like I said, any difficulty in your life can be alchemized, right? Nobody ever taught us that. Nobody ever taught us every conflict can be alchemized and turned into something meaningful, something that can elevate our consciousness. We've just been taught to run from conflict. And I'm not saying be conflictual when you confront conflict. I'm saying learn, adapt, adjust, right? Evolve your tactics for dealing with conflict. Because in intimate relationships, you're going to have to get some tools. You're going to have to get some tools so you can manage conflict better. And then a lot of that has to do with the language we use. Language as a weapon, how the words you choose in conflict distort reality and fracture time. Here's the psychological insight. Labeling someone during conflicts locks them into a cognitive bias loop. Language becomes a neurosemantic prison that your mind then defends as truth. According to Alfred Korzybski's General Semantics, the map is not the territory. Our words are not reality, only abstractions of reality that fractures our ability to witness truth in real time. Can you imagine getting locked in a linguistic prison that someone poorly articulated about you? Wow. Do you see how conflict gets legs? You internalize what they said about you, and they misspoke about you because they didn't have the words or the linguistic acumen to say it truthfully or accurately. The map is not the territory. The word is not the reality. So just because somebody said something condescending, disrespectful, or dismissive about you and your experience doesn't mean you should automatically internalize that. But here's the flip side. What if you hold them in high regards? You're going to do it anyway, right? Language carries frequencies, right? Words are vibrational codes. When spoken unconsciously, they mutate the energy field and reinforce duality, fracturing oneness into performance, right? The clinical empirical insight here, studies on E' and NVC, nonviolent communication, shows significant de-escalation in conflict when descriptive first-person language is used instead of evaluative or accusatory speech. How many of us are guilty of that? Emotional entanglement. When you're arguing with the past, not the person. The amygdala hijack ensures your brain confuses the present person with a past predator. You're not arguing with your partner, you're reliving your father's neglect or your mother's silence. Do you see? We're not looking at conflict correctly. We're looking at our partner to be the answer for the question our parents buried in our spirit. Do you see? So the onus is on them to be perfect. The onus is on them to show up right. The onus is on them to not make a mistake. What if our fear of conflict arises from aggression? What if our fear of conflict arises not from aggression, but from the terror of losing the illusion of harmony we were conditioned to protect? Could your craving for peace in a relationship be a spiritual bypass of your own emotional avoidance? What are the unspoken contracts you silently consent to when you avoid conflict? Who benefits when you mistake your silence for maturity and your compliance for spiritual enlightenment? When you say, I don't want to argue, do you mean I don't want to feel? If sacred conflict is a teacher, what curriculum have you refused to enroll in? Might the people who trigger you be sacred mirrors sent to purify your capacity for presence? Can conflict exist without an ego to defend? Oh, Lord. How does your nervous system interpret disagreement as danger or as data? What if the wound activated in conflict is not a flaw, but a portal? Sheesh. Yeah. Is it possible to meet another human being without referencing your memory? Can you meet somebody without... Do you listen to understand, or do you listen to confirm what you fear? Ugh. Do you listen to understand, or do you listen to confirm what you fear? Do you listen to understand, or do you listen to confirm what you fear? Could your need to be right in conflict be a disguised plea to be seen? When you correct your partner, are you loving them or managing your discomfort with their difference? What might your arguments be saying that your words cannot? Man, listen. I'm the voice of reason. My job is to start the conversation. Your job is to finish it. Listen, we'll be back with the final episode in our spiritual series tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's conversation. I'll be back with another slapper. Hey, that was a hot show. That was a fire show. Hot show, fire show. Appreciate everybody for showing love. Appreciate everybody for showing up. Great series coming to an end. Great series coming to an end. Much love, y'all. Appreciate y'all. That was quick, bro.
Always.
Yo, that was quick. Holla back.